Hey, it's Fred here with Chris Collins, President and Artistic Director of the 38th Annual Detroit Jazz Festival. Man, it's a Labor Day tradition here in Metro Detroit, and you're showcasing local talent and, of course, performers from throughout the world.
Yeah, it's really become an amazing tradition around the world. People flock from all over. In fact, you know, the festival draws over 300,000 people. Nearly a third, come from out of the state of Michigan. So we're really inviting the world into our back door with a music that is really in the DNA of all Detroiters and the Detroit city itself. The symbiotic relationship between Detroit and jazz is significant in all the world, and it's a beautiful thing that jazz allows us to come together on Labor Day and celebrate something special. When you talk about the artistry, you know, it is always a balance of the living legacy of the amazing artists we have living here in Detroit, like the McKinn Folk Group. It's a new project celebrating the McKinney family. We have Robert Hurst and Rodney Whitaker and Glenn Tucker doing a special presentation of George Sax Benson's original music on Friday night at the Jam Session. We're bringing all kinds of cats together to celebrate George as our legacy artist this year. So there's always a real clear connection from the Detroit Jazz Festival to the local scene and the amazing artists that have chosen to stay here. We also have our Homecoming series that brings artists that grew up in Detroit back to revisit. So whether it's from Dee Dee Bridgewater to Regina Carter to Rick Margitza and others, we bring them home, we celebrate their homecoming at the festival and see what they're up to artistically. And then there's all the amazing national artists that some of them names that people know, the great legends, Herbie Hancock, Wayne Shorter, Joe Lovano and Chucho Valdez. Chucho from Cuba is an amazing artist, along with some people that they may not be so familiar with, like Miles Mosley and the great Kamasi Washington, and some artist ensembles that bring a new and an old together. Great Detroiter named Kareem Riggins, a drummer, is bringing a couple of special groups. One of them is Kareem with the Robert Glasper Trio and Common. Many people know him as an actor, but he's a wonderful musician. And then later that weekend, on Monday, Kareem is doing a duet set with the great Esperanza Spalding. Just bass and drums together, very exposed, very intimate setting that will really bring a very special flavor to the festival. Along the way, our artist in residence, the great Wayne Shorter, the legend Wayne Shorter, has been with us all year, doing educational moments and speaking on the Detroit scene and his connection to it. But at the festival, he's doing 3 special performances. Opening night, he'll open the festival with his well-known quartet with John Petitucci, Brian Blade, and the great Danilo Perez. Then 2 days later on Sunday, he's going to present a very special quartet working with Terry Lynn Carrington, Esperanza Spalding, and others in a whole new setting for him. And then on Monday, closing the festival, a brand new piece, world premiere here in Detroit. It is a piece that Wayne wrote for full symphony orchestra featuring the Detroit Jazz Festival Symphony Orchestra, along with his amazing quartet, a piece inspired by a graphic novel that he worked with an artist in Europe to create. So it's really, when we say something for everyone, it really is something for every generation, something for every level of lover of jazz, or maybe those neophytes that really don't know what jazz is about. Come and check it out. They're going to dig it.
Yeah, well, certainly the city will come alive. It's an incredible weekend for all of Detroit. DPTV, producers, crew, camera will be there, helping you do something really revolutionary. For the second year, this revolutionary app that folks can watch from the confines of the Jazz Fest itself or throughout the world right there in your hand. Talk about this and how it's progressing and widening out the scope of what is the world's largest free Jazz Fest.
Indeed, and we have to give a lot of thanks to Doris Duke Foundation, who helped to make the app happen originally and get it rolling. But I want to emphasize, we're so proud to be working with DPTV. In fact, the Detroit Jazz Festival has invested not only in the artists of Detroit, the legacy of Detroit, but all of those who work in the world of music and art in our city. And DPTV is certainly a longtime member. My mom worked on DPTV when she was younger. It's a great part of my family life, and I grew up with you and many others. So that connectivity to the city extends even beyond the artistry. But the app is important because now, imagine, whether you're on the footprint, whether you're at home watching your Apple TV or on your laptop or tablet, you can go to it's live.detroitjazzfest.org. You can register for free. free for the app and get all the festival information, stages, and schedules. And then before the festival, for a fee of $10, you buy the $10 stream, and now you're able to choose throughout Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday any of the 4 stages at any time and see and hear in real time what's happening. And it's not a phone camera or a YouTube feed. This comes from DPTV cameras, DPTV wisdom, so the quality is outstanding. And it's designed so that people can watch it on any of their mobile devices or on their home Apple TV type devices. And the beauty part of it is, whether you're on the footprint and want to know what's happening at another stage down at Hart Plaza or something like that, or you want to send it to a friend, which I recommend, get some friends registered for the app. Buy them the stream. People in California and Texas and Monterey and Montreal, people who have heard about Detroit but really don't know what's going on here. Let them experience the best of who we are, see the families enjoying this wonderful music, all for free, and maybe it'll inspire them to take a trip and be part of the excitement next year.
Well, we're certainly excited to be involved, helping you to break new ground, supporting jazz, widening that view. But when you talk about jazz, I know it has such a rich history and legacy, and education is really embedded in this. And I know you folks at the foundation have created a lot of educational opportunities, particularly for young people around this event.
It's part of our mission, education. It's stated in our mission, and that means education for youth from the very youngest to those adults and those in the latter part of their lives that want to know about jazz. We try to focus education on all, but the really important part of jazz from an artist's perspective is, jazz has passed along the vocabulary, the sensibility, the subtleties of this music are passed along generally in jam sessions and on the bandstand, where older artists with wisdom and background impart to younger artists through a mentoring process the beauty of this music, how to play it, the rights and the wrongs, and what really brings this music to life. And so that sensibility is embraced by the Jazz Festival Foundation. So we do projects in the Detroit Public Schools throughout the year, where we're now up to as many as 7 schools, where we have major artists like Marion Hayden and Wendell Harrison and Russ Miller and Chuck Newsom teaching twice a week in every one of these schools, supporting the band director, supporting the students, helping to revive the structure that made Detroit jazz in the public schools so important to the world, and giving their wisdom and aiding on a regular basis. And then we have our specialty programs like the J.C. Hurd Jazz Week at Wayne, which is available, just finished up. It's available to up to 40 students for free. They come in and audition, buy a talent. You cannot pay to be in the program, and if you get in, it is free. You eat lunch every day. You have a whole day of educational experiences in small and large groups. Traditional New Orleans music this year with the great Shannon Powell, a great legendary drummer from New Orleans. And then evening jam sessions at Cliff Bell's and the Dirty Dog and Burt's Marketplace, so that there's a real flavor of the city. You put these kind of experiences together for youth, and we end up with amazing specialty ensembles that not only include all of the students interested in jazz, but some of those students at the very top. So we have the Detroit All-City Jazz Band, which is the cream of the crop for many of the Detroit public schools, directed by Willie McAllister, the Director of Fine Arts for Detroit Public Schools. And then we have the Detroit Jazz Week All-Stars, both of which will be playing at the festival, so you can hear the best of these youth artists and what they've garnered from these programs. We're really proud now that we're into a decade of these educational programs, where we see these students now going through college successfully and becoming the next generation of professional musicians and artists. And if you come to the festival, you're going to get a flavor of all of that.
So let's formally invite everyone to join us and experience everything there is to share, learn, and enjoy at the Jazz Festival coming up Labor Day weekend.
September 1 through 4. Opening night is going to be a gas. It's Wayne Shorter, followed by Miles Mosley, followed by the great Herbie Hancock, and opening it all will be some of our youth from the J.C. Hurd Jazz Week program, led by the great legend Shannon Powell from New Orleans, playing traditional music, getting us started, taking us into the mood with the music that's the very root of not only jazz but American music. It's going to be a very special time.
Chris Collins, President and Artistic Director, 38th Annual Detroit Jazz Fest. Thanks for being here.
My
and
pleasure.
We will see you and everyone else. We'll see you downtown for the Jazz Fest Labor Day weekend.
All right.